Well, so I got the communication groups. It's just me and Lucy and Zilu and Albina. That one's fine. For the new full moon session.
When you have strike.
Strike I already did, I just did. I just did the strikes right now.
Okay, then we are ranking. Rankings.
Okay, one more thing. Should we do the old world strike as well?
Okay, then we are ranking.
Everyone is on new
world. What?
Is there anyone in old world right now? We are only on new world if you want.
We do the new world. Well, I think everyone's on new world now. We should be able to just do new world.
Yeah, I just did the new world only.
But we would need to add anyone who wasn't added to new world. Has everyone been added?
No, here we are missing on the new world. Joseph, Steve K.
So then it's not going to work until those people are added. So you either have to add all those people or you have to do both.
Okay, I'm going to it.
So there were still a few problems with the attendance and that it wasn't organized, right? So, there's one of the things to be organized. Also, I noted that for Zilu's recording, we want to get you set up with the correct account so that you can record not on your personal account. So I put that as a responsibility. So Zilu, can you make sure that are you checking on that?
Yes, I would. Going to install that. And
so as far as
from next I will do from the
what?
From next session I will do the recording by the
you're not doing anything until you get set up. So don't even worry about the next session. Just focus on getting it set up so that you're on the right Google Plus accounts and everything, okay?
Okay.
And why do we have the 158 degree east half here? What's that all about? Can I delete that? I don't think we need to worry about that, right? We're in the 70 degrees.
Yes, we have 70.
So always remember to keep everything simple. There's no need to overcomplicate anything with information that's not necessary. All right, so I believe we're doing our steering team today since we still haven't been doing our support team. So I'm going to go ahead and do value tracking and steering team, and then maybe we could prioritize in our desired outcomes to review structure and goals of the support, so that we're more ready to do the support team in the future. Okay, does that make sense? And can someone else do the rankings? Did you guys finish with the strikes?
Yes, I just did. Added Steve and Joseph and make the strikes from there. Concluded. Done.
Can someone do the ranking? I'll ask for a third time. Can someone please do the rankings? Is anyone even here? Hello?
Yeah, I'm going there.
Hello?
No, I'm going there.
Going where? I don't understand.
On the sheet. The steering team equity sheet.
I don't know what that means. I'm asking someone if they can do the rankings. Are you saying no, you cannot do the rankings, or yes, you can?
I can't.
You cannot do the rankings. Okay. Can Lucy? Could you do the rankings?
Yeah, I'm doing.
Okay. So why did you not say anything if you're already doing them? Did you just not hear me?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm not understanding. Lucy, can you let
You are breaking, so I did not hear you from the beginning too.
You guys can't hear me? Is that the problem? Let me try resetting. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So is someone working on the ranking?
So we are on a track. The ranking is J Zilulus. Is that right?
Sure. I'm fine with that. Is you okay with that, Leland? Lucy, what is your actual average pay rate? Hello?
Let me go check
You don't know?
from ranking. Let me check from ranking. Ranking.
So it's 417. Just try to remember your number. Helps us move things faster. All right, so I'm almost done with this. Maybe someone could do some desired outcomes. Or you guys want to wait for me to finish this?
We can, as it is,
4.17. Up check. Then Zulu 3.91.
Yeah, I got that a long time ago. All right, so I put you guys are both at 1x at normal hours. And this is
normal hours. Yes, I'm still normal. 7 p.m. Normal hours. I don't know the Zulu.
I'm also normal at 10 p.m. 10:30.
10 p.m. is not normal. 10 p.m. is not 1.5 because it always begins at 9 p.m.
Okay.
1.5.
Yeah, anything from 9 to 12 midnight. So do you think you're in the next 2 hours? What time is it going to be in 2 hours, dude?
Next 2 hours, it will be going to be 12 a.m.
Okay, so yeah, so you're exactly 1.5. All right, so I got the moon time correct here, and we can start our network equity. And then we're good. So, we're not in the 136 moon month, so we're starting a new moon month. So we'll duplicate this.
We're on 61.
And this also happens to be a new quarter. So I'm going to go ahead and move it to a new quarter. And this is, would you say 61 what?
61 west.
Okay. So we come here to new moon. Place that there. And we're all the same. So it's Lucy, J, and Zulu. Nothing for anyone else. And then we put the date, so it's 4/14/70. Okay. And it looks like we're still not getting our normal week hours in. So whoever's doing the weekly check-in would be updating the normal hours, or whoever's in payroll should be updating those normal hours, but they're not. All right. So let's see here. I think we are done with all of that. Any other things on the value tracking? So let's do desired outcomes since you guys didn't want to do it before until we were done with the value tracking. So I think we're done with value tracking unless there's any other questions on that, and then we would do desired outcomes. And if when you do ranking, write ranking so that you know what it is. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to just write someone's name. Can you guys do that next time? Write ranking. Hello, anyone here?
Yes.
Yes.
Next time, if you could write ranking, that would be helpful. All right, desired outcome.
Approve our budget for our quarterly budget.
Be good.
Also do the
And then scheduling. Review on our schedule.
executive review on executive plan.
So this is going to be, our new, it's called a prime plan, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
Finalize to put your results. And taxes for
Taxes, yes.
non-profit.
I also have some new policy proposals on responsibilities and duties, so that can be in the proposal section maybe. All right, cool. So I think we just have the 3 topics. So there would be the budget, the planning, so maybe 10 minutes.
Can we review on our Beyond Harris?
You can. Let's put this in the planning as well. So for the planning, we have the prime plan and then the Beyond Hard Stop priorities. Okay. Any other topics?
No. You're fine.
Cool. So we do our scheduling during setup and wrap up. We also can do our co-chair results during the proposals if we want to. And also there's new policies will be there. Not really new. They're clarifying existing policy proposal and responsibilities. All right. So any other topics? Any other desired outcomes? Any objections to our topics and desired outcomes?
Okay.
All right. Move on then. So schedule. So here our goal is the 6 p.m. UTC, 12 America's time. So we have First Stage Moon coming up. Not too worried about that. First quarter moon is on the March 14th. And then we have our recruitment commission, March 19th. And then there's a March equinox full moon dual session here. I think we could calculate a little closer here. So if this was 12, 20. Oh, wow. 24 plus. Wait, oh, yeah. So you guys don't have these times right. So all these times should be the correct start time of the session in terms of like our schedule. So that people can schedule correctly. So this is 4 hours apart. 9 p.m.
Can you share your screen, Jeff?
Oh,
Or you're not showing anything?
So, I mean, I think this is 4 hours apart. So I think we could do a 2-hour session and then take a 2-hour break and then do a 2-hour session. So I'm going to say that these are not the same. I mean, we should be able to do like a 2-hour seasonal session and then do a 2-hour full moon session 2 hours later. Okay. And technically speaking, you could technically combine them if we had a schedule and we're planning on doing like a, 6-hour session, but I don't think we need a 6-hour session, especially when we're on hard stop. Last quarter moon apogee, recruitment commission, new moon. Cool. And we need to, on our schedule, we need a link to be a responsibility to update and link planetary calendar doc. So that's something that Zilu that you could do. You could talk to me about that. Make sure that happens. Because we're not using it. Calendar. But I don't think you even have this. Like, I need to get that to you so you can update it.
Yes, we have updated for 2019.
No, that's a different. That's the schedule. It's like the schedule. That's just the calendar. I'm talking about the planetary session stock. It's like I don't think you have it. You need to work with me to get it. Okay. Can you do that, Zilu?
Yes, I will.
All right, cool. All right. Mercury, April 10th, April 18th. So the other thing that's missing is our schedule here. So I believe on Friday we've got recruitment work session, right? Or no, is that wrong? No recruitment work session?
Which one? I'm confused. What are you asking for?
I was asking if on Friday we were doing work recruitment session.
Oh, yes, here we have a list here. Work recruitment. Yeah, we are on Friday.
None of these other ones are scheduled. I think it's just Friday is scheduled.
Yeah, it's on Friday.
Executive support, are we doing scheduling now?
You want to?
Okay.
But
Executive
we might
planning,
cancel
when
this
are
one.
we doing?
We might cancel this one until we catch up on our taxes and other priorities.
Can we do executive support Thursday?
Thursday?
Yeah. Thursday, Andromeda thing. If you are available.
I'm available pretty much.
It will depend on the availability also.
I'm very available as always. I am very flexible and very available.
Okay. And then Friday we can do J support.
Okay. So you want to cancel the recruitment
J
session?
support during COBOL time.
Friday we are
Because
doing
we
okay, COBOL.
Because we will have recruitment maybe on Andromeda. No, let's put Andromeda on recruitment to be taxes on Friday during Andromeda. And we put J support on during COBOL time.
So what I remember is like, Zilu, you said that you had more availability than Lucy's talking about. What is your interest in doing any of this?
Cobalt is best for me.
Cobalt? Well, Cobalt works best for me as well. I don't understand why we're not doing more during Cobalt, because that's the best time for me, but no one has been available. So do you want...
For taxes, which day you are preferring to do for taxes? The day. During Cobalt, any day, I will be available.
Well, today is Wednesday, right? So today's Wednesday, Thursday. So, so Hydra right now we have new moon session. So that's what we're doing now. Do we want to do something on Cobalt? We could do either executive planning, J support. Who's doing payroll? Like, where are we at with this?
J support during Cobalt. Wednesday, Cobalt, J support.
Are you available, Lucy?
Yes, I'm available.
Oh, all right. And Zilu, are you available?
Yes, I will.
Okay, and then so Thursday we would do executives. BEA work.
Brothers, I will go there. Is you available on Thursday? Kubal?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, since we're scheduling the VPA and VEA sessions, we might want to do a review today. Maybe we could do a quick review of virtual assistant work for 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Yes. Sir.
Okay.
Also.
So what about payroll and taxes? Oh, Lucy, what?
Okay, I was to say about payroll.
Can you finish, Lucy? Let's let Lucy finish. I didn't hear her.
No, I was to say about payroll. If we can do on Andromeda Thursday or Sonic, I don't know.
So who's doing payroll? Let's just make payroll async.
I'm doing payroll.
Okay, so have Lucy just let us know when it's ready, okay? And then also we want to schedule for owners and or sponsorship payroll.
I can schedule for that.
Well, why don't you get the payroll done and then let us know. All right, so
and then you can do Wednesday as it is important, so we can go to the Andromeda if you are available.
You are available?
You can move on Sonic as well for Wednesday and Thursday.
We have taxes also. You forget to schedule for that.
Friday?
Taxes Friday?
Taxes was on Friday, as I can remember.
So
but today we can schedule for that Wednesday, Andromeda or Sonic, whatever you prefer, and as well Thursday, as it is the priority one. Wednesday and Thursday, both we can schedule for taxes to get that done as soon as possible.
So when are people available to do taxes?
Wednesday,
anytime. During Andromeda, I'm available anytime.
Well, we could do today. We could do Thursday.
Yes. Can do Thursday. Taxes.
So Zilu, are you available for any time to do taxes?
Available today, not tomorrow.
For Andromeda?
Andromeda.
Okay. So the idea here is that we would do
What about Thursday, Zila? Are you available?
Thursday? Andromeda, no. No, tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so today the idea would be to do a marathon session today and do a bunch of get our new moon session done, take a break, do some taxes, take a break, and then get the VPA work done. So, I mean, I think this could go pretty well. We may be able to incorporate some of this into our session as well.
Yeah.
And just see how long we can go and get it done. Okay. So
yeah,
I think this has
we did not
good
schedule other work Friday.
No, we did not schedule any other work Friday. But with this schedule, if we could get the taxes done on Wednesday and Thursday, we could still do recruitment on Friday.
Yeah.
And can we move the JAS support on Friday? Because it is yours, the BPA works, so it is depending on you.
What do you mean depending on me? What are you talking about?
The BPA, the JAS support. It's perfect on Wednesday, or you can move on
I'm
Friday.
here for all of these times. I'm available. I'm doing all of these. This is all my work schedule.
I just forget other priorities. Can someone remind so we can schedule Friday? Still have. At accounting, I think we need to also check on accounting on Friday. It's okay, accounting. It's very important.
I don't know. What kind of accounting are you talking about?
We are not done with the accounting. For us to be for the next coming month budget, we need to start doing accounting now. Slowly, at least one session.
Accounting for quarterly budget.
I think last time you estimated it was not done correctly. All of them we did some and you estimate some. Anyway, it's okay.
Let's go ahead and review where we're going to be on that. So for the accounting, we can go through the budget and accounting when we get to that, okay?
Yeah.
And we can see where we are and decide if we need to schedule or not.
Okay.
All right. So what about, so again, we have New Moon session, 3 of us, Lucy, Zulu, Jay, right? And then we have Andromeda, and then we do Cobalt. It's possible that we could do all this during Hydra. If we can get everything done during Hydra, we'd be done for the day. Otherwise, if we can get everything done during Andromeda, we'd be done for the day during Andromeda. So we just need to make sure we're taking our time. We already missed our bottom of the hour stretch, right? If we're taking breaks and we're taking our time, we should be able to keep going for a while. And then we can take like I think after 4 hours, you have to take a half-hour break to an hour break. But anyways, let's just do our best and just get through as much as we can. And then if we need to go through all the way through Cobalt, we'll do that, okay? And then we have tomorrow to finish up with the taxes, executive planning, and then recruitment on Friday. Who can be here for recruitment on Friday during Andromeda?
I will.
Okay, cool. And since Zilu has mainly been helping with the recruitment, that would make sense. That would just be me and Zilu, so that we can stay focused and move through the recruitment quickly. All right, so I think we are ready to move on. Any other questions on the scheduling?
No question.
All right, MBE and Plasma. Let's take a look at where we're at with that. So I do know that there is some WCTC proposals. We're going to be doing our HR board proposals during budget. Oh, yeah, and then there's the World Play Ventures. So I feel like what we need to do here is we probably need to create a WCTC board doc, board proposals doc, proposals, MBE, right? What else is the other one here? And we already have an HR board doc that we do. And we probably need to do World Play Ventures as well.
We have a doc for HR.
So World Play, I think we basically just need to schedule some DAA work there. Cool, I think that's pretty much it. Any other questions on the MBE proposals? The only thing comes up with Plasma is that we did have the quarterly budgeting and accounting report. So we would submit the report to Plasmo, so we could link that here if we want. All right, anything else on MBE? All right, so I think we're ready to move on. Can someone link the quarterly report? Or do you want me to do that? I think I could do it. I think I have it here somewhere. Here it is, quarterly budget report. All right, so now we're ready for proposals. Does anyone want to go through the co-chairs?
Yes, we can. Features, results, here we are getting first top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 6 people here. Results and total voted count 2 people. Total voted 2 person and was voted. So there is only 2 votes. And we have the results numbers for the election results here. For me, 16, George 15, Regina 15. Current co-chair probably Lucy, right?
So there's only two votes?
Yes. There is only 2 votes.
So who voted?
I and you.
Lucy, did you want to vote? Can you vote right now, Lucy, or no?
Come up again.
It says that you did not vote in the election.
I did not vote.
We know that. So we're asking if you want to vote.
I know.
You won't vote?
I don't want to vote.
Why don't you want to vote? So we could just like, suspend co-chair rule and not do it. Or we could all vote, or we could I don't know, do something else. Or we could use just the 2 votes. So if me and Zilo are voting ourselves in as the top 2 candidates, right? It's a little bit of a conflict of interest. But either way, what do we want to do? Do we want to suspend the co-chairs? I mean, I think it's good to be practicing getting the co-chair vote going on so that we don't get out of practice. But obviously, we're not really doing much of the co-chairs. I don't even know if people are doing 8th moon sessions. So maybe we should just not worry about it, or what do you want to do, Lucy? I'm fine with suspending.
Currently, I don't think a co-chair can be effective. Since, you need to have someone there when you are doing the session. And most of the time, you find out that maybe Zil is not present, and I cannot do with anyone. It's always working effective when we are many, at least.
So would you go for option 1 or 2 or 3 or 4?
Let me check.
So would you want just to suspend the co-chair vote?
Consider something else.
What else would you want to consider?
Let's just consider. I don't know whether this consider. We just leave vote for now.
What? Say again?
We just suspend quota for a while. We consider just moving on like that without any votes in. We are only 3. Even though I vote, it's still going to remain. Zulu is still a current co-chair, and I'm also just got like 1 week ago going. Likewise, Timuel Bina not yet finished, and this Jessica, she don't respond. Abdul last time he was co-chair, he don't even attend. So for me, let's just consider leaving it for now, and we will pick when our system are picking well.
Okay, that's pretty clear. So for me, I'm okay with suspending the co-chair rule, but I'm not super happy about it. And then obviously the easiest thing would be all of us voting, which would be fine too, but if people don't want to do that, it's hard to say you can do anything about that. As far as considering something else, if you have something else to consider, you could let us know, Lucy. As far as like doing the actual weekly check-in, that can easily be scheduled. Like we could just schedule weekly check-ins, or we could do it during the full moons and new moons and quarter moons. Zulu, what do you think?
For weekly check-ins, we are scheduled on 8th moon. We are doing on 8th moon. But that means another schedule.
Well, Lucy was just saying that people aren't showing up and that it's not happening.
According to my own observation, since last co-chair that's selecting, I remember Abdul was selecting plus Albina the first time. Albina sent the message, no one was responding, and they are showing us they read the message, no one is responding. They don't respond. Again, there was another vote. Jessica was supposed to do this, and she didn't even respond. Again, Jessica come again, and he was selected. He was at least to do this vote. They don't respond. So for me, I don't see the reason why we can continue with the co-chair. Let's just have a schedule like any other normal session, that anyone who knows it be like a self-driven responsibility for now. Whoever is going to do that, know how to do that, just do that. You do the reporting and let people know how we are on on that session.
Yeah, but if we have a co-chair, he will be able to have the things done. If you want to,
you need to have what?
If we have a co-chair, then he's liable to make it done, and he has to check up who is doing, or if someone not doing, then he's responsible for that. If we don't have a co-chair, there will be no one to have the responsibility for that. Is it going on or not?
Okay.
I don't know.
So, Lucy, do you want to vote on option 1 and 2?
I don't vote on option 2 because of you cannot consider we break the policy last time. Or like
option 1.
You have to vote for.
Do you want to vote on?
I'm not voting.
Like
I cannot put 0 because I'm not voting for option 2.
I put 0. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so what about option 1? Do you want to vote for option 1?
Yes, I'm voting for option 1, 8.
8, okay. Azili, did you want to vote at all for option 1?
Yeah, you can say I can vote for 3.
Still not pass, okay? Let me just continue then.
So option number 2 has the most votes. So just to make sure we're clear on this, Lucy, you refuse to vote. That is correct.
No, Jay, we cannot consider the option 2.
Why?
We don't consider, you remember last time when we said we cannot consider the vote that we unknown person. Everyone, we need to put the name of the person who votes. Why are we changing on that?
We're not changing anything like that. All we're saying is that we have 3 of us, so there should be 3 people voting. Me and Zilu already voted. You're the only one who hasn't voted. Do you understand, Lucy?
Yes.
You have 5 minutes beyond on 1 hour.
So all this entire whole thing that we're dealing with is all because you seem to not want to vote. So we're trying to figure out what to do.
I think voting is like if you're willing. Only the budget that I see always is a mass, and I think that essential to vote. But anyway, I think voting for that, if you guys consider someone who did not vote, someone, and it's okay. I have no problem.
So you have no problem with voting? You have no problem with voting?
That is not the right thing. I will disagree with option 2.
Do you want to
even if it is
vote? Do you want to vote on it? Do you want to vote on option 2? Like the proposal would be to have everyone vote who's present. We are all here and we are all being paid. Why not do the work? Right? So that's the proposal. I'm perfectly fine with it. Zilu, do you want to vote?
Yes, and 6.5.
Lucy?
7.
Lucy, do you want to vote?
So voting for which option? Are you
So
forcing me to do option 2?
Option number 2 got the most votes, right? As a 6.75.
I'm not voting for option 2, 0.
You're voting 0 again. You're just not voting.
Yeah, because option 2, if someone does disagree, there is no need I disagree and come and vote. I'm voting 0 for option 1, option 2.
Okay, so again, it passes with the 7.25 proposal passes. So, I mean, we have a problem with this. So this becomes an issue, right? So now we have an issue. Is it appropriate?
Why are you considering anonymous? You know, you bring something that doesn't make sense. Why are you, at the first place, why are you coming with the option 2? All vote. Why?
All vote. All workers vote. Why? Because when we vote, we can figure out who the correct voting is and make sure we have the result, like reasonable result. We've never only had 2 people vote before. It's a really low number. So if we had you voting, then it would be really easy to move forward because we would have a more balanced vote and it would make sense. We could just certify it. So number 3 is to use the 2 votes, but this was not agreed to. So we agreed to option 2 to have all workers vote. And the issue would be, you know, the question for you, Lucy, would be like, why should a paid worker present at main sessions and getting paid, you know, simply decide to hold up the group and not vote when they are paid to do so? So do you understand the question, Lucy? You understand the question? So basically on our vote, what me and Luzilu are voting for is that basically if you are getting paid, this could be a policy proposal, right? So policy proposal.
Like, I think before you just need to force someone to vote, right? Okay, I'll
would be against policy.
Where are you sending that? You don't even ask me why I don't vote.
Why are you not voting? I asked you 2 or 3 times.
For me to vote for that.
Why doesn't it make sense? We vote for co-chair every single new moon and full moon for months and months and months and months. It's never been any different. So why this particular new moon that you refuse to vote? Like, what is the issue?
Not only this one, it has been long for me not voting.
Okay. How long?
Maybe 2 months.
So let's hear from Zilu. Like, Zilu, why? Like, I'm fine suspending the co-chair role and not worrying about co-chairs for a little bit. Why do you think that we need the co-chair role, Zilu?
We need a co-chair role to make the responsibilities of co-chairs that have, so that those responsibilities getting done. Like the weekly check-ins, if we have a co-chair, then co-chair is liable to accomplish the responsibility regarding that, and the other steps like the plenary sessions is liable. Co-chair is responsible for happening that. So if no one is responsible for these things, then it will be. I don't know how to explain it.
So what about an option? What about an option like?
I have a question for Zilu.
What about? Wait. Can I please speak here? From what I heard from Zilu. What I heard from Zilu is very specific and clear that we need the co-chair role to make sure the responsibilities get done. So the question would be, this would be a 5th option. We could make the co-chair role voluntary temporarily, so that anyone who wants to step up to be a co-chair can take on the position and not have to do the election. So with option number 5, basically, like Zilu, we could just make you co-chair, and then we're done, right? So basically, you just make yourself co-chair, right? So Zilu can just make himself co-chair for the time being. So then the current co-chair would basically.
I just still have a question for Zilu. When I'm co-chair with you, I send them message. Who is available for co-chair? You did not even respond to me. And you remember you're a co-chair. I tried the last co-chair I did with Albina because she showed up. The other one we did it as not even a co-chair. We do after co-chair because you are not turning up. I don't understand. Today you said we need a co-chair who is gonna be checking up. I tried that. You don't show up when we are together. We need to do it with you. You don't even send a message. I think it is very important when you are co-chair. If someone send a message, oh, please, Lucy, I'm not going to make it. Can someone who is available join you? You leave it like that, and you know co-chair is for co-chairs. So no one is waiting for your response.
I don't know which month you are talking about, but the last month I was not the co-chair and I was out of home and some stuff. I was at some hard time there, so that maybe I missed some messages that was possible. It's very, I don't know how to explain that, but I was
Okay, guys.
some messages where I was out of home and some hard times for the last month, and I was also not the co-chair for last month. Albina or you was.
Okay, so
why you are expecting me, I don't know, but maybe I have to reply, but I didn't because I missed these messages.
All right, so getting back focused here, like no one is required, under our policies, no one's required to show up for any session and to do any work at any particular time, even if they're elected co-chair, right? So if someone's not available, it's not against policy to not show up and not be available. It is against policy to not communicate and not meet the criteria, but as long as you're meeting the criteria and communicating, if you don't show up, it's not a big deal. So my question to you, Zilu, is, are you okay just taking on the co-chair position yourself and then you just take it on voluntarily as opposed to being approved in the election? Are you okay with that? Would you vote on that proposal? What would you vote for that?
I would vote for 7.
7? Lucy, would you be okay with that?
Is he going to do it alone or just still following the policy?
Anybody can step up into the co-chair position. That it would temporarily not be an elected position. So temporarily would not be an elected position until we finish our recruitment and get more people involved. Okay.
So Mike, I'm just asking, is he going to just schedule like the other co-chairs, or it is just like a self-driven work that someone just doing?
1 hour over. For 1 minute. Can you take a break?
Let's see if we can get this done, because this is a major issue and it'd be nice to get this over with. Because we're really close. So basically all we're saying is that anyone could take on the co-chair position if they want to. It sounds at this point that Zilu is the only person interested. Zilu would become co-chair. Zilu would let everyone know when it's a scheduled session to do the co-chair work or to have a co-chair session, or show up at executive planning sessions and things like that. And then Zilu would take on the responsibility for the co-chair position while we're not doing elections. But anyone else could step up too. Like Lucy, if you wanted to be co-chair, you could step up as well. I mean, you guys are the only 2 other people who even are working. So Albina is most likely not going to be co-chair because she's stepping back for her maternity leave. Does that make sense, Lucy?
My question is, can someone do co-chair without somebody, like when there is a co-chair meeting? Can I do it alone? That was what the problem is. When someone is not available, you don't do it.
The responsibility.
You have to wait for that person.
You're talking about the responsibility for the weekly check-in. Updating the weekly check-in spreadsheet is a responsibility separate from the co-chair. The co-chair doesn't even have to do that. They can assign someone else to do that if we just did recruitment and actually had people to do work. So I think you're mixing up the idea of a responsibility and the actual co-chair position. The co-chair position is an executive position that oversees the entire worker organization.
Okay.
So the responsibilities and the role is much.
I think
much
because that was the responsibility for co-chair before, if I remember very
well. Is that a question or?
Yes, so, if I remember, I just remember co-chair is supposed to do the responsibilities of reminding and also for calculation for the session.
Okay, that's fine. So do you want to vote on this proposal or not?
Okay, can vote.
Okay, so what is your vote? I voted 7.5, Zilu voted 7. We're waiting for you to vote. Or do you not want to vote? You don't have to vote if you don't want to.
I'm voting 5.
Okay. All right, let's see if it passes. All right, so it just barely passes. So it's good enough for me. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. So we're gonna take a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do the rest of the policy proposals, and then we can keep going on to the vibes. We'll do vibes afterwards, and then we get into our topics. So 5-minute break, okay?
Okay. I think 5 minutes is too.
I'm here.
Okay. So there's three new there's three additional proposals here. And these are all existing policies, but the idea would be to make them clearer and more organized. So the proposal would just be to approve all three of them. Obviously, I am ready to approve all three of them. So the first proposal has to do with worker duties. And this is related to what happened with Abdul. And the bottom line is the way I feel about everything is that I'm very happy with Lucy, with you. I'm very happy with you, Zilu. Although I think it would be great if you stepped up more. It sounds like with the schedule, you're interested in stepping up more, doing co-chair stuff. So hopefully we can work together more often. And I'm also very pleased with Albina. The only issue, of course, is getting to the recruitment. So the four of us have not been able to get to the recruitment. But other than that, we're doing okay. Everybody else who's on payroll right now and on our on the budget is not doing good, and they're not helping recruit and find new people and keep the organization functioning. And they're not taking responsibility for agreeing to something and then not doing it. So basically, when someone gets and works with us and they agree to do 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week, then you do that. Otherwise, you're not meeting your duty to the organization, right? They should be resigning. If they're not going to do the work, they should resign. So in the context with Abdul, he reminded me that what's going on right now is just not okay, right? For me, the way that people are treating the organization is very disrespectful, and it should not be tolerated, right? And we will see when we get to the budget voting if we're going to be removing them from the budget. I'm definitely supportive of that. And then we need to focus on recruitment and bringing new people. So the first proposal basically is that all workers have a duty to the organization, the network. Everyone would take on responsibilities. And then if they can't do those responsibilities, they would find or recruit someone to take over the responsibilities, if they leave, right? So I would also, because this is very important, There's also legal fiduciary duty if you're involved in making decisions, which simply means that you do your due diligence, you research, so you ask questions, due diligence, ask questions, etc. So if you leave without meeting your duties and ensuring continuity of the organization, that would be against policy and negative value. So I guess this last little part is kind of new, which is that the idea is that we could give negative equity or negative value to people who basically just leave and don't actually make sure the organization has continuity or have any interest in actually supporting the organization. So does the first one make sense?
Yes.
The second one is simply saying that when you take on a responsibility, you automatically take that responsibility on indefinitely. That we simply do not assign, one-time responsibilities. That's just not what we do. Sometimes there is a one-time responsibility, but then we clearly indicate this is one time. So if it repeats weekly or monthly, you never stop doing it. And basically, if you do want to stop doing the responsibility, you need to inform the team they're not doing it. So what happens currently is people take on responsibilities, and then many, many months go by, no one ever hears anything, no work actually gets done, and then nothing happens. And then no one knows nothing is happening. So basically what this is saying is that when someone takes on responsibility, if they don't want to do it anymore, they must inform the team, otherwise they're breaking policy. That make sense? The third one is just our work method, that when you take on work, you organize your work, you do the work, and then you bring the work back to the team to get feedback. Right? And then you do more work. And then you repeat that over and over and over again, constantly doing more work, bringing it back to the team, getting feedback. Is it good? Is it done? Until it's 100, even if it's 100 times. It doesn't matter how many times or more, you just keep doing that over and over and over again until the work is fully verified and the output and deliverables are 100% achieved. So you're 100%. So we want all of our work to be 100%. Otherwise, it's just not following through with it, right? So this is basically follow through for our work method.
Okay.
So does the third one make sense? So basically, it's simply just follow through, right? If you don't follow through, you need to inform the team. So basically, you want to just stop working on something even though it's not done, including taxes. Right? We never finish the taxes in step 8. It's like, okay, if you don't want to do step 8, then let us know. Tell the team, I do not want to do step 8. I no longer am working on taxes. I'll get back into taxes when we're on doing step 1 through 7, right? But don't take on taxes and then not follow through at the end of the work. Does that make sense? So anything that you're doing, you either do it completely all the way through, otherwise you're breaking policy. And if you don't want to do it, you can stop doing it anytime. You have to inform people. You can't by yourself decide, I'm not going to do this and not tell anybody. That doesn't count. All right? Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Are there any questions, Lucy, Zilu, about the proposals?
Yeah.
So these are all existing. These are all existing policies. I mean, nothing really changes. It's just making it clear so that and putting it in writing so that it's so we can train the new workers. So Lucy, did you want to vote? Lucy, are you going to vote? Hello, Lucy, you there?
Yeah, I'm reading the proposal.
Okay, let's let us know if you have any questions. Take your time. Are there any other proposals anyone has? Let's see what we got. So 7.5 plus 7 plus 6.8. So that gives us a 7.1, so it passes. And I mean, these proposals aren't perfect, so you know, over time we'll improve it, but it's basically just informing people to take responsibility. That's what we're here to do. If you want to take on a task, there's no responsibility. If a worker takes on a task, there is no responsibility, and they do not have to follow these policies. Although they should still let someone know if they stop doing it. You guys understand the difference between a responsibility and a task, right? Cool. All right, so issues. Are there any other proposals? All right, no more proposals. Okay, issues. Contentious situation, vibes, conflict. We just need to add these two new issues to our issues doc. Oh, also, we do have another problem on the proposals. So with the proposals doc, the proposals doc is a problem because someone's copying and pasting completed proposals on the proposals doc. So you can see here it says, so this is the recruitment team meeting. This proposal was passed the recruitment team meeting. I think this goes into the voting form. And there also was supposed to be a proposal that came from some other session. Oh, I think it was this one. Not copying information from one place to another place. I like that. But all this, it says New Moon Session 1170. This is all, shouldn't be here. Like, I don't know. This.
Oh, I forget. Also, reviewing on Zillow work report last time, I think we went something like that.
Yeah.
Was
anyway, the proposal doc needs a lot of work, but we'll get to that. So what were you saying, Lucy, about Zilu's work report?
I think we forget last time. Last time we said we will schedule on to review on work report. Maybe because he's with us, we can just brief him about.
Is that a
or it is not supposed to be today, or I don't know which session is it appropriate.
Is that a new topic, or what do you? Or do we need to add that to the topics list, or what?
I don't know whether it is a topic. That's what I'm asking here. If it is a topic or what, I don't know.
Well, let's put it on next steps to start with. What is it?
Letting Zillow know, reviewing on the work report. Last time we reviewed and he was not there. He might not even know. We went through 3 of us and he was not there.
Oh, I think it was about video watching, right?
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully we can get that. We'll just add that for next steps there. All right. So let's finish up with the proposals. There's one other proposal here, which is that we would make it an official policy to not allow copying information from one place to another. Right? That copying is not considered production or output, and instead you must create new information or organize it in a new way. So the correct policy is just to link existing information. So I'll put that first. Right, so you link, the policy is that you just link the existing information where you need it, don't copy the information, right? So workers are not allowed to copy information from one place to another. Copying is not considered production or output unless it is indexing. So you can copy for indexing purposes, but once the information is in the correct location, then you never copy and paste it somewhere else again. You just link it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the only other exception to this rule is sometimes you will there will be times when you copy information from a doc to a website or wiki or you know, task reminder. Okay. Are there any questions about the proposal?
No, it's clear.
Any concerns? Objections? All right, so I think we have consensus on that one. All right, so issues. So we just need to add these issues to the issues doc. Oh, here we go. Zilu's work report is an issue. So yeah, this is a great time to go over that during issues. Perfect. Thank you for reminding us. All right. So also, we should be making these separate headings. I think there'll be heading 4. We're making sure it's indexed. So our proposal section should be indexed. And our is anyone doing video indexing?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so let's just get better at doing our indexing for all of our sections here, scheduling. Just because it would be better. We could even put it into the notes. Like really, we should do it into the notes as well and have like the proposal section should actually be in the notes. Possibly even putting our schedule in the notes as well. All right, so let's see, Zilu's work report. So the question on your work report, Zilu, was in regarding to watching videos. I think we could clarify the policy as well. Do you remember the dates at all? Let's see if there's any dates. Regarding watches, videos, and value issues, scheduling your purchase session. Let's see. Do you see it anywhere, Lucy? What date we're talking about?
I'm just trying to open this session.
Let's just do a find here video. Human session with video. Okay, this is the question right here. So February 4th, 2019, it says new moon session with video, and then it says 3.5 hours, actual 1.5. This doesn't make any sense. All right, so this is against policy in the context of it just simply not making any sense.
I also don't know, but when it was lots of times ago when Joyce probably, as I can remember, and she said that there is a new policy, and if you go through the video, then the time will be count half of that. And she also verifying the work report by that way. I can remember Joyce and Albina were doing that. So I just follow the instructions of them. Yes. When they were doing the payroll and tracking the work hours, they said that if you go through the video, then the countable hour will be half.
Okay, so let's go through. Let's go.
If you go to the work report history, then you can see the edit options and they started. That was started by Joyce probably, and then Albina also.
Okay, but so let's go through the policies because I think the problem is the understanding the policy. So when you attend real-time sessions, if you are text only, the value is 25%. If you are text and voice only, it is equal to 50% value, which would be half.
I just got the note. Can I paste there?
Yes.
It's a long note.
So this is the policy you're referring to, right? If you do not attend real-time sessions, your value is equal to 0. No value, right? So basically, if you watch the video afterwards, there is no real-time session value. It is just normal work time. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
So as far as like what that means, no one can watch videos that are not assigned. All workers can do 1 to 2 hours of individual work per week on whatever they want to. If they choose to watch videos, they can't. Right? During hard stops, there is little to no chance someone would be assigned to watch a 3.5-hour video. At most, it would be one single section. So it doesn't make, there's a bunch of things that don't make sense here. One is like, who's going to watch a 3.5-hour video from the very beginning all the way to the very end? So that doesn't make a lot of sense. Secondly, if you were going to write this into your work report, the correct way to write it would be like this. You would say individual session watched new moon video, right? Then you would say 3.5 hours, right? And then you would say 1.5 hours of work credits. That makes sense?
Yes.
So the biggest problem here is that it says 3.5 hours and 1.5 hours. There's no, and then actual, there's no such thing as an actual time. The actual time should be the actual amount of time that you worked, which in this case, if you did actually watch 3.5 hours of video, you actually worked 3.5 hours. The value of those work credits would be less. Right? So the same way that you would write it like this, if you did overtime work for 3 hours, which would be, what would it be? It'd be 4.5 hours of work credits, right? So overtime work is, you still worked for 3 hours, but the value of that work is 4.5 hours because it's overtime. So when we change the value of work, like if someone's getting 25% value, they're still working for 3 hours, but the value, or let's say 4 hours, right? They work for 4 hours at 25%. The value is equal to 1 hour of work credits. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
So there's just multiple things that are incorrect with their work report. So Lucy, do you have any questions or additions?
No, it's clear.
Lucy, do you have any questions?
No.
So what I'm still not clear, like, do you understand what happened during this, or you just don't even know?
Are you asking me or Zilu?
Zilu.
Yeah. What is the question, please?
Do you yourself understand what happened during, how many hours did you work? How many actual hours did you work during this time?
I was going through some sections. I remember, and you were asked to see the Mercury session, some point there, and I was going through that.
Okay, well, this isn't the Mercury session. This is the new moon session. The entire video was 3.5 hours, but did you really watch the entire video, and why did you watch it, right? So, you know, if you were doing if you were watching the video for a reason, you would say what you're doing. So, for example, you know, individual session, new moon video for recruitment training. 1 hour, right? Does that make sense? Where the reason you watched it was recruitment training. In fact, if recruitment training is the focus of why you're watching the video, then you could put that at the beginning that you did recruitment time. And you were learning how to do the recruitment by watching the video or something. Nobody watches a 3.5 hour video for just the purpose of watching the new moon session. That's just not, you don't do that. That makes sense. You watch a specific section to find something out, and that's what you put on your work report.
And
right?
for the new moon, as I can remember, I was in office and I was not able to join on the session for voice, and I was on the YouTube there with the link. Really.
Okay, so Lucy, for the payroll, do we need to change this, or do we just leave it, or what do we do?
No, you can leave it for now, and because he was not aware, but now he is aware.
Okay, so
I don't know. According to me,
just don't do that in the future, Zila. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So I think that's pretty much it on the issues. Any other issues anyone has? There were those 2 issues that I brought up that we can add as well. So there was confusion regarding the quarterly budget process and the monthly budgets. I think we worked that out pretty well.
Another issue, I think issue plus request. When Zulu, you are working on something, after you finish, or even if you did not finish, just update us. Hi guys, done with this. At least it is good. And instead, you get work done and you answer in like calendar. You work on it. You are not aware. I think it is good also when you work on something, you just let people know. It's not a must. It's done or it's not done. Whether it is not getting done or it's done, it's good just to let us know.
Okay.
All right, so I think we're ready to move on. Let's go on to our topics. So here's our topic list. We can do 1 minute each. And we would start with, and just so we know in the future, all of our other topics should be in the notes. So we could put that also as policy keeping. So policies not followed. So Zilu's work report, we could add that. We're not doing very good on time. Timekeeping and taking pause breaks.
Timekeeping, I don't know. I'm looking for the time that you make it last time. I think we need to include it on template. It is gonna be easier for someone to do a phone.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I think you prepare like last time timing where you say pause all of this. I just try to look at my work report. I don't know when. So I think we need to include it on our template so that can be easy when someone is doing timing. That one is guiding so much. I'm just looking for that. I did not get where you arrange all that.
I'm still lost on what you're talking about.
Yes, this
Are you
is
talking about
correct.
time or what?
If someone willing to do the timekeeping, and if he or she didn't do it before, then he have to know how many times after the pulse, how many times after the things that need to do on the timekeeping. So it will be on the session template. If it is the timings on the session template, then anyone can, when come to do the timekeeping, that will be clear when he have to do what.
The timekeeping role is a position, and we can have a separate doc for it if we want to have a separate doc for each position. But you can get to all the positions by clicking on the position, meeting roles and responsibilities, and positions doc right here.
Yeah, we can do that on the session meeting rules responsibility.
So if we want to have a separate doc for timekeeper, we can have a separate link just for the timekeeper position. If it's going to be a lot of information, which is fine. So each of these positions can have its own doc. Eventually, maybe even have its own web page where we document all the information on how to do the position. And each position should have its own training video so that people can learn how to do the positions, right? I mean, basically, everybody who is, coming to main sessions should know the positions, all the new recruits, and then they should be filling them and doing them. Also, I want to make sure it's clear that taking on responsibilities, that this includes session positions and meeting roles, right? So when someone takes on a meeting role, they should just take that on at every session, and it should be really fast. Like, we shouldn't have to spend 5 minutes getting our session roles set up. We do this over and over and over again, multiple times a month. It shouldn't be. We just should be able to start a session immediately, know who's doing what roles, and just move on.
The rules is clear, but the thing is, we are missing the new timekeeping system. The new timekeeping
that should be linked right here. It should be on the position and responsibilities. If it's not, then that's a problem that we need to fix. So I click on timekeeper. So 3 to 4 minute ping, ping, pause, ping, breath, ping, pause, ping, stretch, ping, pause, ping, breath, ping, pause, ping, break.
You get it where?
You just click on the session meeting roles and responsibility.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, this would be a lot of information to have to put on our into our template meeting notes. It's like your position. You got to do that in the background. Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we're doing 1 minute on each topic. So first is budgeting and accounting. So for this, we need to go over the results. And remember, we also need to be opening up our stuff here. All right, so desired outcomes. I can't even find the desired outcomes. So again, all of this stuff needs to go into the notes in the future, okay? Like all the proposals and everything, we need to be putting this all into the notes. And all the schedule and everything should go in the notes. All right, here we go, desired outcomes. So approve quarterly budget, view schedule, I think that's it. And then accounting, you had something about accounting you wanted to go through?
Yeah.
I think that's it, right? So
Yes.
we also might have our super team new world budget. Don't forget that. Okay, planning. We have the prime plan and beyond hard stop priorities. Is there anything else for that?
I think that is it. On planning. Planning, we already scheduled.
Yeah, we did schedule some time for that. Taxes. So for taxes, we have the WCTC accountability and updating our tax systems. And then we have the tax extensions. Anything else on the taxes?
I think for now, that is what we need to get done. Maybe Zulu, anything if you have it.
All right, so with a quick review of virtual
I was muted.
All right, so then the quick review of the VA work should be pretty simple. I mean, basically, it's like focus on the priorities of the administrator, individual, or executive. Priorities and getting time to focus on the work. So,
1 minute pause. Is it 1 minute or second?
5-second pause. So during VA work, there's not training. We don't do training during virtual assistant work. So everything goes a lot faster and quicker, and the focus is getting the work done and getting the focus on it, even if you don't know what's going on, right? All right, so let's move on to the budget and accounting. Anything else? I think we're ready to move on, right?
Yeah, we're ready to move on.
So we can start by doing the results.
Results, yes. Let's look for the results. HR approach.
And just so you know, when we're going through the 1 minute, that's where we put the links. So for example, the Prime plan, I had the link for that. I put the link in because I knew we needed it. So we'd be ready when we get to the agenda item.
I linked the tallying the results that shared this year.
What, Zilu? All right, cool. So this is the tallying budget results for the quarterly budget, right? For 61 Degree West quarterly budget. So, but this isn't the results to the voting. Where is the result? Oh, this is the results right here. Oh no!
Yeah, that was just documentation.
Wait, this says results, and I click on it, and it just goes to the normal vote. That's a problem. Do you know how to get the link to the results? Link to HTML.
Check the spreadsheet.
All right. Okay, here we go. So, highest ranked based on new time budget. Okay, so that's passes. $500 passes. So they all pass. It looks like option 3 gets the most votes. Okay.
We got to verified result.
Oh, so you're saying they didn't pass when it's verified? It's possible some other people might have voted, though. You never know. Okay, cool. So, interesting. So the proposal is to certify the monthly budget. So what about the quarterly budget? Where's the quarterly budget vote? It looks like we're not doing very good here. So we need to get the link to the quarterly budget. Can anyone get the quarterly budget voting? Doc, does that exist anywhere?
I'm just trying to find out.
I'm looking.
Don't see the vote. I don't see the quarterly budget here. Can't find. Just only find the quarterly budget though.
So we do not have the quarterly budget, Doc?
We have the quarterly budget though, but
There
not
we go.
voting.
Final overall quarterly budget, Doc.
We have it.
Well,
The
you
quarterly
didn't link
budget
it.
doc I can link. Oh yeah.
I just linked it, so I don't think you need to do that anymore. All right. So the proposal is to approve our overall budget. So anyways, I mean, you guys did this, but you never followed through on it, so it didn't work. So you need to create it. We need to create a voting form. Oh, wait.
I sent this one. No one is voting. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we sent it out. You have to send it out over and over and over again.
I sent it out. I can even check. I sent it out.
Maybe once, but you have to send it out over and over and over again until everyone votes.
I sent 2 times.
Well, we should have sent it yesterday to get ready. Remember, we were supposed to get everything ready for the new moon?
Yeah. Zilu, can you vote on this to approve? Since we are just, even if we are there. Can you open that and vote on that?
What I will open?
Open the doc that James on. I sent this several, like 2 times. No one was even responding or even voting.
Final budget vote. This one, the final budget vote? Or is there any voting link?
I can even send you over the Skype Hangout. Or I don't know whether you are there already. Let me send you. You can open on that Zillow. You just vote by commenting.
Okay, so let's go through these one by one. So the first proposal is to certify results from HR board vote to remove Zonad, which is main body team Zonad and Abdul, as well as Teresa Mamoon, main body team Teresa Mamoon, to be removed from the budget. Are there any questions about the proposal? Are there any concerns? I mean, I guess the concern would be that it sucks to get removed from the budget, but they're not working. So it's like, I'm a 7.75. Lucy, Zilu, want to vote?
I'm 7. I'm 7.
Zilu's a 7.
I'm 7.5.
Okay. So we're always going to be doing the averaging. So if anyone wants to help with the averaging on the votes, that would be very helpful.
Yes, I'm good. Let me do it now.
We'll just do it as soon as we have a vote. All right, so this one passes. So that one's done. Let's go to the next one. The proposal is to certify the HR board results for the monthly budget vote for $750 a month, with the budget being this. I guess what's missing is the actual numbers, because we should have that. Do we have the link to the monthly budget? We don't have that either, huh? What's going on here, guys? Are we doing the monthly budgeting or not?
Yes, we are doing.
Okay, so we should have the link to the monthly budget somewhere. Also, it should have been in here, like it should have been linked to the proposals. We should have the monthly budget, right? So it should have been here, monthly budget. Here's the link to the monthly budget doc spreadsheet so that people could see the details. So that was a mistake. So we can add that to our policy tracking, okay?
Yeah.
Did not add monthly budget spreadsheet link to the voting form. So do we have that or not?
I am linking the 61 digit. Click on this one. Link in the bottom.
We want the monthly budget. We're looking for the monthly budget.
I'm just trying to find out. My machine is slowly, it's very slow. Getting that.
So I think everyone's new world, so I updated that. I believe this is the beginning of the budget here. So all of this needs to be included. Oh wait, but not all of it, just the top part. Like this. Oh, we already did that part, didn't we? And then that doesn't matter. All of this needs to be included. I don't know, but this isn't even correct either. So it's going to be this and this. Damn it. So next time if you can do this ahead of time so the information is all correct would be extremely helpful. So we have Jessica, right?
Yeah.
So Jessica would go under Zilu. And we got Steve O. And Joseph. So is this correct, Lucy? Because I asked you 3 or 4 or 5 times to fix it and make it correct. And it doesn't look like you did that. But, you know, if you think this is correct, then that is fine with me.
Fixing what? You told me to fix what?
To fix and make sure all the numbers were correct for the budgeting.
The formula, I don't know how it comes. When I change something, everything changes. That's why I just leave it that way. I just change where you told me I change that because I do not understand. If I change the formula, it also change from there. That is it. That's why I leave it that.
I told you just to put it right on top or to create a new tab or do whatever you need to get the information correct. You know, it doesn't look like you did it, so whatever. If these are the correct numbers, then they're the correct numbers, and we pass it and approve it, and that's that. Otherwise, change them and make them correct. Right? Now's the time to fix it. I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes doing this by myself. I don't think anyone's done anything else except for me. So if you want to fix it, fix it. If not, leave it, and we'll approve it. Okay.
I wanna fix it.
All right then.
I just want to fix it now.
So are there any questions about the budget?
No question.
Okay, are there any concerns?
I have a question now, Jay. How can I now fix it manually without doing the formula?
You could have done it before regarding the formula, and you just do it on top of the formula, and it deletes the formula, and it puts whatever number you want instead of the formula. And here, there's not even a formula. This is the doc itself. So when you put it, you were supposed to have put it onto the proposal form, but we didn't do that either. So, you know, it's here, which is fine.
On proposal doc, I did not put individuals. I just put the body teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your point? I don't understand.
I was asking how can I now divide with the Joseph because I was supposed to do manually.
You're saying you don't know how to do it?
Yeah, how to divide me and Joseph. I don't know which procedures, because when I'm using that, it's all this coming because of the percentage. How can I do it when I want to share with the Joseph? When I want to share 300 with the Joseph?
Well, maybe you could start by marking what is and is not. No, I didn't change it.
That is why I asked you last time. Just he was not working. When you reduce the percentage, and he will have a $0. The formula is gonna be okay. But when you do sharing of the percentage like a body team, that is where the amounts come. Because for him, he did not work last. This percentage all is for Lucy. 41.67 is my percentage. He's supposed to have a 0%. But due to sharing on what I work on, that's why he has that.
Okay, well, just change it however it's supposed to be, and let's move on. If it make it yellow at least if you're not sure, and then we can go from there. So if there's something that you're not sure about, then make it yellow, and we can start from that point.
Yeah, even Jessica is saying that 46%, and she given still over 48% hours of work, but it's not.
Like scenario for Joseph is very unique. That month he was not supposed to work. The budgeting was 0. He was not supposed to work.
But this is not for last month. This is for this month. This is for this month. The current month for the next month, not the past month. So if he's supposed to be working, then he needs to be in the budget. Otherwise, we should remove him from the budget.
Okay.
So Lucy, can you please clarify what is and is not a problem so that we can address it? If you could make it yellow, or you could write something down, or make it clear what your questions are, because I'm still not clear. Zilu, do you understand?
You just make it clear that this is not previous month, this is the current month. So it is clear now for me. If Missy has any question, she can ask.
I know it is a current month, Zilu. The thing is, when you are working on the budget, getting that percentage, we use the budget for last month. How much you accomplish for us to come up with this budget for this percentage, and this percentage that determine the budget that through the formula that you're going to get. You understand?
All right, well, maybe we should just like make it simpler, because the freaking percentages don't matter, because we don't need the percentages for the budget. That's just for the calculation.
Even though you remove, it matters. When we are doing the budget there, it is those percentage that determine this amount of the budget.
The percentage is coming by the main body team. For that, this is as I can make an idea. This percentage comes by the main body team, not the individuals.
The percentage, Zilu, when you put the percentage, it is the one determine how many you have in your body team. Like, for example, if you go to your body team, you have 325. Because of what it is showing, last month, Jessica was working for some hours, and plus your house, the percentage, the more percentage is higher, your budget is also gonna be higher. Like, if you can see, you have 325 you guys, because of what Jessica was having some percentage. That is why I'm saying the percentage that you are using to get the budget is not correct. It is maybe it is correct, but we just need to see if someone is not working. Why are we just putting like sharing someone percentage or get affected somebody on the budget, and that person even is not working? Like,
so I still don't understand what your question is or what your point is, Lucy. I just have no idea why you're going on and on. I understand the percentages. I know how the calculations work. It all looks fine to me. So my question is, what is the problem, and how do we change it to make it correct? Who cares about the percentages? Let's just get the numbers correct and vote on it and approve it. So like, do you have a question about the percentages, or are you just talking about them?
I just have a question about the percentage that determine our budget, because, but it's okay. Let's move on, I think.
So are these the correct numbers or not? I still see no yellow. I already asked you 4 or 5 times. If there's a problem, put it in yellow. Or to put it in writing, like, let us know, ask a question. If there is nothing that's a problem and it's all in green because it's all correct, then we're ready to move on. Otherwise, tell us what needs to be fixed so that we can fix it. And the same thing would be true for Zilu. And then let's approve it and then move on.
My question is, since Joseph is not even showing up, what procedures can we use?
Joseph is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th person says Joseph. It says $125 for 9.06 hours, $3.45 an hour. So Joseph is right there on the list. What do you mean by that? You just said he doesn't show up. That doesn't make any sense. He's right there.
Okay.
So what is your question about Joseph? It says Joseph right there. Where does he not show up? I don't understand.
No, I was asking and you said it there. You cut me before. I was saying, since Joseph is not showing up, how can we share the budget as a buddy team on the buddy without using these procedures of getting like the percentage, equal percentage for us, all of us, we reduce equal. What are the procedure that we can use? It's not only mine, likewise to Zilu, likewise to Albina.
You fire him. The correct procedure is to fire someone because they're not showing up and creating a new buddy team that works. Everyone should have main buddies who are actually functional and come to their job and work, instead of buddies who don't do diddly squat. Right? It's your job to pick to create a main buddy team that is functional with somebody who's actually showing up. You know, so I mean, for me, I would be perfectly fine getting rid of all the buddy teams because they're all not functioning. They're all under the percentage hours that they're supposed to work. We could easily have main buddy team Lucy, Albina, and Zilu, and nothing would change. All right, we only need 1 buddy team. Instead, we have 3. So if we're going to approve 3 buddy teams, that's fine. But I still don't understand your question. Like, for example, Jessica is in the budget. She's in the budget for $144. for 10 hours, 10.25 hours. If she doesn't work, she doesn't get paid, but she's still in the budget if she works. Does that make sense? And Zilu is the only person that's keeping her there. Zilu wants Jessica to be in the budget for $144. Otherwise, Zilu would just get rid of her and create a new My Buddy team. Does that make sense? The only thing keeping Steve-O in the budget is Albina. The only thing keeping Joseph in the budget is you. So I'm still not understanding your question. What is your question? Do you want to write it down?
I think you're a dancer.
So are all the numbers correct or not? What happens
if someone has a zero, lowest is 0?
Their lowest is 0, then their lowest needs to be 0 on the freaking thing. Otherwise, it's not correct.
Okay.
Just make sure the numbers are correct. You're responsible for the budget and getting the budget updated and voting on the budget. So put the numbers in correct and let's move on. Because this is like, we've been doing this for how long already? Like 10 minutes or more?
Yeah,
okay.
20 minutes?
Well, let's just move on.
So everything's correct.
Yeah.
All right, so you're ready to vote on it being correct. So Zilu is going to get paid $180. Jessica's going to get paid $144. Albina's going to get paid $125. Steve-O gets paid $115. Lucy gets paid $175. Joseph gets paid $125. Is that all correct? We're ready to vote?
Yeah.
And 7.
Thank you, Zilu, for doing the average. That is exactly what we want. All right, so let us know if you have other questions with the budget or if there's any problems. Otherwise, the budget passes for now. And this all should have been done ahead of time, and it should have been in the voting and the budget, but it wasn't put in there because someone didn't do it correctly. All right, so moving on to the quarterly budget. Lucy's yes, Jay's yes. Zilu, do you want to vote on the quarterly budget? Are there any questions for the quarterly budget?
Quarterly means 3 months budget, right?
Well, no, we have a leap year, so there's 4 months this particular quarter.
Okay.
So the 61st degree west quarter is actually 4 months because we have a leap month. But that's very rare. It only happens once every 2.5 years that we'll have a leap month.
Yes, we have a leap month. No question.
Can you put maybe voting there so we can do average zero?
Are there any questions?
No question.
Are there any concerns? All right. But I will add over here, my only concern here is that it seems that the work isn't getting done correctly for the budget and verification is not taking place. To make sure everyone has the correct. Okay, also, I have a concern that the numbers and times just don't make much sense. Like people should be working more. Like there's more work to do. We should be getting people to work more hours. Like 15 hours is just not enough hours. 11 hours. I mean, it's like if you guys can work more hours, you should be working more hours. We need people to work more hours. All right, so I think we're done with the budget section. Is there anything else? So this all needs to go into the voting form. Who's working on the voting form?
I'll work on voting.
All right, Lucy's going to do the voting form.
I think they also depend how they request, because they all coming like that.
Yes, and it's based on people's requested amounts. It should all be verified that it's correct based on requested and lowest. All right, so let's go on to the next topic. Is there anything else for the budget that we have questions on? What about the accounting questions and the super team budget?
On accounting, I think we need to review if there is something we need to do on accounting, or is accounting okay as for now?
I think it's fine. I don't know. I think it's fine. Do you want to link something and take a quick look at it, or did we finish up the report? So maybe we go through this spreadsheet. We go through the the verification spreadsheet. How about that?
I'm looking for verification.
I think we missed our break again. We're doing really bad on time.
Yeah, we are
now on 2.5 hours.
I think we were supposed to start wrapping up a half an hour ago. So we missed that too. So we're just doing bad all the way across the board.
I'm just looking for verification. I don't get accounting machine.
Here, I'll get the go over the, while you're looking for the verification, I'll go over the budget report. So the quarterly budget report is kind of cool. So now that we have the approved monthly budget, we can add that in. So this would be the approved monthly budget. Shoot. So at the very bottom of the quarterly budget should be the monthly budget.
A link verification, accounting verification.
So this is incorrect. Now we're going to put the correct one. All right, so there's the monthly budget. So this goes through the overall summary, which goes through our total assets that we're dealing with. We're overseeing, oh, that's our goal. We're currently overseeing $215,000 of assets, but that's not ours. Our money, including all of my personal assets, is $65,000. All the assets, personal assets of mine, savings, asset, retirement, as well as cars, etc., etc. So if we add everything up, that's what we get, and it comes out to $2,592 per month. Our annual budget is $31,000. Our goal is to have $312,000 in the bank and have $150,000 annual budget. So we are not anywhere close to where we want to be, but Better than nothing. So this gives us our monthly budgets, accumulative spent for the quarter, cumulative spent for the next half year. This is how much we're actually spending in relationship to our unbalanced budget. These are our mini endo budgets with the back pay advance. Okay, somebody was supposed to fix all the spelling errors here. Someone didn't do what they said they were going to do. Can someone fix all the spelling errors in the spreadsheet? Or are we not going to do that? Or
Which is spreadsheet?
the budget spreadsheets, of course.
I'm on a budget spread. Oh, this is accounting. Sorry. Okay.
Is someone going to do that or no?
I'm going to do it.
Because last time you said you were going to do it and then you didn't do that. So we can add that to the policy tracking.
Okay. I think just forgetting, not really, I refuse to do.
Well, that's what
That's
what breaking the policy is. When you forget to do something, that's breaking the policy. That's the whole point of breaking policies, is that you forget to do it.
Is it the monthly budget spreadsheet or?
No, this is all the quarterly budget spreadsheets to fix all the spelling errors in the quarterly budget. I asked you to do that. You said you were going to do it, and then you didn't do it. Anyways, this has all of our benefits budgets. It's got our annual business expenses, costs, our estimated weekly business expenses, our monthly business expenses and costs. We have a quarterly budget that we just approved, and then we have our monthly budget that we just approved. All right, so there's our first quarterly budget and accounting report, which is very exciting. So we're going to be doing that every quarter, which will be good. Any questions on the quarterly budget report? All right, let's move on to the verification spreadsheet.
I'm fixing on the quarterly budget report, though.
What are you fixing?
Spelling. I'm fixing the spelling on the quarterly budget and accounting report, though.
Okay, so let's let Zilu get the credit for that and put Zilu here instead of Lucy. Zilu seems to be doing it now. All right. Let's go through the verification spreadsheet. This is not the verification spreadsheet. Where is the quarterly budget verification spreadsheet? Can someone please get the quarterly budget verification spreadsheet, please?
Yes. Quarterly budget. Okay. Yeah, I'm there.
All right, so anyways, since that's not happening, let's move on to the super team budget. Do we have a super team budget for the new world? Do we have a super team budget for the new world or not?
I think for now we don't have the budget for super team budget for.
Okay, so that would put us on soft stop. So we have 1 week to get that done. Otherwise, we go on hard stop. So it's the new world super team budget. So is someone gonna do that or what? Is someone gonna do the new world super team budget?
Yes.
Lucy, you gonna do it?
Yeah.
All right, just let us know if you can't do it. We need to get that out and voted on so that we can get it verified for the quarter moon. It should have already all been done and part of the verification that we already did. All right, let's try the verification for the quarterly budget again. Here we go. All right, so quarterly accounting we didn't get done completely, but good enough. Mini endo budgets, I think we got up to 70% on that. Business cost budgets are pretty good. Quarterly overall budget is approved and completed, so I'd say that's pretty much done. Rankings and people removed from the budget, we did okay on that. That's pretty much done. HR budget. I don't think we did 4 months of HR budgets. We only did 1 month, right?
Yeah.
So we'll put that at 33%. So it'll be really easy to extrapolate the 1 month budget into a 4 month budget. So that's the only other thing that's still of issue. Let's check out the final deliverables. The quarterly budget and accounting report is supposed to be proposed. So let's go ahead and do that. So the proposal is to approve the quarterly budget to approve the quarterly budget report. Are there any questions?
No.
Are there any concerns? None. Are there any objections? No objections. Do we have consensus? Do you have consensus? Hello? Do we have consensus on that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that one is now proposed. It needs to go onto a voting form. Mini endo budgets almost, so those are done. We need to propose and approve those as well. So I believe that's all part of this proposal. So to approve the quarterly budget report and mini endo budgets and the business budget. So do you guys approve the mini endo budgets and business budgets as well?
Yes.
All right, so mini endo budgets, network business costs, yes. Quarterly budget with month. Overall quarterly budget has not been put on voting form yet. Okay. Rankings and proposed removal. So this did go in voting form and has been verified, results tallied, and certified. So that's all completed. HR budget framework for the quarter has not been done. HR budget for the first month has been completed and verified and certified. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's definitely still some work to be done on the quarterly budget, but there's not too much. We're really close. So basically all that we have to do is create the voting form for the new moon session. In the voting form of the new moon session, we'll have all of these, right? New moon voting form. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then someone needs to just finish up the HR budget framework for the quarter. We could do that during an executive session, or we could schedule that. So put that under scheduling, schedule time for 4-month quarterly HR budget. Okay. All right, any other questions on the quarterly budget verification? All right. So, I mean, we're really bad on time here. I don't know. Maybe we should just stop. Let's see what the next topic is. Planning. So it's going through the prime plan. And then after this in our schedule, we have, our schedule is such a mess. Taxes.
Yeah.
So if we just save, the prime plan for like next time, we could take like an hour break and then come back and do taxes.
Yes.
Or we could just go through the prime plan and then save the taxes for Andromeda. Do you guys want to spend 10 minutes going through the prime plan?
Yes, sure.
Yes.
So options would be one to stop now and check out and do taxes at Andromeda. Option 2 would be 10 minutes on prime plan and super hard stop priorities, and then stop. So what do you guys want to do, option 1 or option 2?
Option 2, 10 minutes on prime plan.
Option 2 is fine.
All right. So we're going to do option 2 wins. All right. So let's go back to here, planning. All right. So this is going to be our last topic for the Newman session. Just make sure there's no other questions, issues, problems with the budget. Everything's good on the budget. All right, so I'm quickly going to go over the prime plan. Can someone please link the beyond hard stop priorities?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so that when we get to that, we will be ready. So the prime plan, we have lots and lots of plans in our network. Yeah, just link it. So we have lots of plans in the network. The prime plan is basically like the main plan of all plans. And there is a couple things that are different about this plan than any other plan. The main thing is that it's based on systems. And the idea would be to organize and coordinate all of these different systems so that everything is functional within the context of system frameworks. So the first system is planning. Everything starts with planning, and it's executive planning, right? Executive planning. So the executive level is where the planning happens. I actually wrote out this kind of cool little description of how all the planning works in relationship to the different levels. Oh my God, this is the plan. Put that down there. I don't know why you would put it under the prime plan. So, so membership is accountability. Legal decision making is Bouncil. Planning is executive process. Management is part of implementation. Core team is coordination. Steering team is the global structure distribution. Support team is the support process. And then co-chairs and centaurs work on everything, including planning. So basically, co-chairs and centaurs do everything, including executive planning. Okay? So each of these systems needs to be needs to have its own doc. And this is part of like systems coordination and support, like when we're doing systems creation, coordination, and support. And then step 8, which is our end goal, is our campaigns. Campaign, launch, and achieve goals. The other essential thing is that this is all in order. So until we finish system 0 and then getting our executive planning, we really don't want to get too distracted with the additional things. So for example, we need to finish taxes and government compliance before we go on to outreach. Right? And we need to have outreach and have people before we're doing all of our scheduling and support sessions, but we do need to make a balance because we do have after we get all of this done, then we need to get into our assets and liability management. So when I say session support, what I'm mainly talking about is like make sure our primary planetary sessions are happening with our inviting our guests and actually functioning. Right now we're not doing that, right? We just only the workers show up at the sessions instead of doing our invitations and having all our website and everything. So the network overall plan, so each of these needs its own system. So system creation and coordination. So one task is create a doc for each system. So currently we have one system doc. Which system doc do we have? Which of these systems do we already have a doc for?
We have the system and processing.
No, that's a project. What system do we have a doc for?
Is it very funny?
I think Jupyter. Jupyter, maybe we have
Jupyter is a plan. It's not a system. A project is not a system. It is a project.
We have now the system 0.
No, we do not have an executive planning system doc. It does not exist. Which system do we already have created and are actively trying to implement?
Outreach and recruitment.
Outreach and recruitment, yes. So outreach and recruitment system doc can be linked immediately. So you would just link the outreach and recruitment system doc right here. So this would be linked to the outreach and recruitment system. So every single system, there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9 systems are all going to be linked to their system docs, right? So that means we already have one. So we already have one. So we need to create 8 more, right? And link them.
Yes.
Great. From there, all of these plans are going to need to be linked. We're going to need to create a new plan for individual workers, a new plan for team workers, our policies plan. The network overall plan should have already been started, and this should be linked. The Jupyter plan is already created. We need to link that. The investment business plan, the donor fundraising plan, these need to be created. They have not been started yet. We probably don't want to worry about that for now. So when we're doing executive planning, which I believe we have scheduled for, I don't know, Friday or something like that, tomorrow, we can start getting all these plans set up and linking them, okay?
Yeah.
System number
So you mean we create the doc for like system 2, system 3, all of them and link on overall system doc?
Oh, look, see, outreach and recruitment system. So now you link on outreach and recruitment system, and it goes to the outreach and recruitment system. See, outreach and recruitment system plan. Wait, plan? No, this is a plan. This is not a system.
I did that wrong. Okay.
This is a plan. Recruitment system doc, I saw it there.
All right, maybe we need to go through what is a plan, right? What is a plan? What is a process? What is a project? What is a system? Do you guys need to go through all of this again? You guys need to go through what these are? Yes or no? Please talk.
Yes.
Not prepared now.
Yes, let's go through them.
Just from Lucy.
Okay, we'll go through it quickly. So this is our mini glossary updates, right? So we need to be updating our mini glossaries. So a plan is a a guide to implement goals and objectives. So you list all of the work and goals that need to be accomplished. Processes. What is a process?
I think the way.
What? What's a process?
What's the process? Process is the way that we are doing things.
I think how to get the work done. We need to have like systematic way of getting work done. I don't know.
Not exactly. I mean, these are not trick questions. We have all of this stuff on the docs. So if you're not sure, we can just pull it up. There's no reason to guess. So systems and processes project. Do you guys understand that the system and processes project is not a system, nor is it a process? Does that make sense? The project? You guys understand that?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So we've gone over this many times. We're going to go over it again now. A system is a set of processes that accomplish overall goals and objectives, including deliverables. The recruitment system is an example of an overall goal having active, trained, and effective workers accomplishing output. To achieve that overall deliverable, many processes and outcomes need to be successful over a long period of time. Does that make sense as far as the system?
Yes.
Okay, a process are a specific set of steps that accomplish a single goal with a clear step-by-step instructions. Again, a process is a specific steps that accomplish a single goal, whereas a system is a set of many processes that accomplish many goals and objectives, including deliverables. An example within the recruitment system would be creating the recruitment budget or onboarding. Each process can always be active at the same time as other processes, even within a single system. So within a process, it's a step-by-step instructions, which means if you have 10 steps in a process, you have to complete step 1 before you can complete step 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
An example of a process would be the budget, right? So the budget process, you must complete tabulation or accounting before you can go on to finalizing your monthly budget. Does that make sense? Right? It's not possible to go on to the next step, right? So a system can have 10 processes, and you can skip around to whichever process you want to, right? So you can do process 5 before process 2 if you want, or do both at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, so basically there's a big difference between systems and processes. Systems are much bigger, processes are within systems. All right, so back to the plan. Any other questions about the executive planning? All right, so system 1 is health and wellness. So executive planning is just to get us a head start. So even with our health and wellness, we need to plan our health and wellness and make sure that we have a plan for achieving taking care of ourselves, which basically includes workers, our worker policies being that all workers can take all the time they need for themselves and their families, including the maternity leave or whatever people need. So first comes taking care of yourself. Everyone needs to be able to take care of themselves as best as possible, with 2 exceptions. One exception is personnel support, life support alliance, and our support team. So we're going to be transforming the new moons. Instead of doing the steering team, which we're doing today, we're going to transform it into our support team. Our support team, instead of the agenda items being, for example, planning and taxes and budget, the agenda item will be Lucy. The agenda item will be Zilu. The agenda item will be Jay. And we'll be doing personnel support to make sure everyone has their goals clear, that everyone has their responsibilities clear so that they are supported as workers. And then we will also be going through life support to make sure people are balanced and have like basic life necessities, etc. Basic life necessities. Okay.
Yeah.
Furthermore, based on our BLN matrix and our prioritization, anyone who's paying money to get support would also be prioritized. So I'm paying thousands of dollars into our budget to funds that I help bring in, right, to get support, right? So my support and my support plan would also be prioritized. And I think we're working on that tomorrow or something like that. I don't know. Maybe today.
Yeah, I think today during Cobol time after taxes.
Yeah, cool. So any other questions on health and wellness? And just so you know, we define health and wellness as everything from education to housing, food, healthcare, as well as finances. People's finances cause lots and lots of stress, which affects people's health. As well as relationships and other needs, migration, anything related to migration and people who are in difficult situations involving refugees and things like that. It's all health and wellness, okay? Emergencies, all of that. All right, so health and wellness is very, very broad. Any other questions on health and wellness?
No.
All right, so system 2 is value tracking distribution. This is extremely important. We have to pay people if we want them to work. If you don't pay people, people are not going to work. Furthermore, as we bring in new recruits, we need to, if we're distributing equity, we need to actually distribute the equity, distribute value in tokens so that people understand and feel that they actually are getting something for their work. So that they feel excited about working. This also includes our budgeting, work reporting, invoicing, tabulation, and accounts receivable. We need to bring in the money. We need to be distributing the money. This all needs to be happening as a top priority. Otherwise, no one's going to work. And that's part of why we lose people, is because we don't pay them on time and or make sure that they understand the value of the work to do. Are there any questions about the value tracking distribution system?
No.
Cool. System 3 is taxes and government compliance. Again, we've worked a lot on the tax plan, right? But the taxes and government compliance system is different, right? And it's the focus is on the needs of the organization to be compliant and not risking, being incompliant, as opposed to getting the taxes done or getting any particular work done. So it's a little bit more focused on our timelines and the actual needs of what the government wants from us. So this is going to be a very different perspective, and so we're going to need to start that immediately. And it's much broader. Taxes and government compliance is much broader than just doing taxes. Any questions on the taxes and government compliance system? All right, and then we do outreach and recruitment, session support, assets and liabilities management. So systems creation, coordination, support for all of the rest of our systems, which will include our legal structures, our launch, clientele, resilient staff, and fully functional systems, addressing all our burdens, issues, and contentions, and actually having more money with our clients. From there, we can actually do our campaign launches and achieve our goals, which will include our parallel governance models, supporting candidates, supporting organizations through our sponsorship program, supporting the Green New Global Deal, for planetary balancing. All right, so I think those are a good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we have lots of other things too. So this sort of makes sense. Like we have to do system 0 or system 1's not going to work. We have to do system 1 or system 2 is not going to work. We have to do system 2 or system 3 won't work. We have to do system 3 or system 4 won't work. We have to do system 4 or system 5 won't work. We have to do system 5 or system 6 doesn't work. We have to do system 6 or system 7 will not function. And we have to do system 7 in order to be able to achieve our goals and do system 8. Does everyone understand?
Yes, we understand.
Yes.
So that we needed to start and just keep doing it over and over and over again until we complete it. And we're going to switch. We can switch around a little bit, but let's do our best to stay focused and get these all scheduled and completed. All right, so I think we're done with that. Let's go through the Beyond Super Hard Stop priorities real quick, and then I think we'll be ready to check out. And we'll take a break. So I'm really excited about the plan, the Prime plan, and this will link to all of our other plans. So we'll get that organized over time, and just keep doing planning. And planning is the kind of thing where you get it set up, and then you continually go back to planning and evaluation, and it's part of our work methods, right? That you evaluate where you are, you plan, and then you keep moving on from there. So one next step for our plan would be to do percentage complete on each system. All right, and this will also be a plasma report. All right, Beyond Super Hard Stop. So what are the questions here? So someone was supposed to create an updated spreadsheet of self-driven responsibilities. I don't think that ever got done. So we have
self-driven responsibilities I created though.
Okay, but this is still really confusing. It should just be the new responsibilities. There should be no old responsibilities. And it should be really clear about exactly who's doing what. Okay? So this is still not clear, not verified. Lucy's working on payroll. Albina is doing maternity leave. Bilu is helping with some taxes. We did the 1099s. We never did the W8s. That just got skipped. The K1s, we never did those. So you guys are just helping with WCDC redo. Scheduling session reminder, selling calendar. And you're also doing co-chair, right?
Yeah. Recruitment.
That's not, recruitment is not a responsibility. So what are you doing with recruitment? You're doing scheduling. You're scheduling for recruitment, right?
Yeah.
Lucy's doing payroll, scheduling. I don't think you're doing any client deadlines. Quarterly budgeting accounting. We need to finish up with this. the last little bit for quarterly budgeting accounting. Worker hard stop coordination. I don't think that is necessary. Percentage fee admin for DS, that is also important to do. So you haven't been doing much on the sponsorship management to help with that and the percentage fee, but we need to do that. Learn more about VA management, also choose more priority responsibilities. Okay. So any other questions about the work priorities? Lucy?
Super team budget, is it under quarterly budget, all of them? Under budget? Or just anything to do the budget? Super team budget.
Oh yeah, super team budget and super team budget. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that I think Zelia, are you gonna help out with the system stocks?
Yes, yes, I will.
Voting forms.
And then everyone should try to check in with their buddies. Lucy's doing the voting form.
Yeah.
I think there's also get proposal from recruitment commission. I think we had one proposal from recruitment commission. Okay. But I think there's at least 5 to 10 proposals, maybe even more. There was a lot of proposals we went over today. They're all in bold. Okay.
Yes, we put everything. Even all workers have duty to organization. Are we going to also include that?
Every proposal, all the proposals go in the proposal, the voting form.
Okay.
All right.
What about the one with removing people, because we already agree on that?
It's a certification.
Already approved on that.
It's a certification.
Oh, okay, I'll do it.
So the proposal for that is the certification. So the proposal is to certify the HR board results to remove Zonad, and Abdul, Teresa, Mahmoud. Okay?
Okay.
And we could go ahead and notify them right now. The new session, we certified the voting results to remove nobody team Abdul and Zonad as well as the budget. So that notifies them that they have been removed from the budget. And then we can go ahead and add them to the after budget. America's no longer in budget. So Abdul's already in there. Mamoon's already in there. Teresa. And who's the last one? Zonad?
Zonad.
And then we just need to remove them from the Jella team. Remove. Remove. Teresa. Remove and Zonad.
Zonad.
Cool. All right, so that is progress, right? We actually did something. All right, we probably should have done that a long time ago, but we got it done today. All right, so any other questions about the Beyond Super Hard Stop? So the most important thing to understand is that with our new plan, everything fits into the prime plan. The prime plan takes precedent and priority over all other plans and priorities, right? So whenever you're doing anything, it just needs to fit into the prime plan. I think it's important to note that over the past many years, I've been the only person doing executive planning. Every time I've asked for people to schedule to do executive planning, no one does it, right? So planning things and getting it all organized is the starting point, right? Nothing happens unless you create a plan and have proposals and have something ready to implement, right? Then after you're ready to implement, you can go into your sessions and then actually start creating your systems and then start implementing.
Yeah, that's plan is very
Okay, so so for the Beyond Super Hard Stop, all these priorities are fine, and the client work is also fine. Well, Vienna is no longer a client, and Mission Within is no longer a client. So these are. Let's leave Mission Within because there's still some post-client work. Mission Within issues. We're pretty much done with quarterly budgeted accounting. So all of this still is fine. The priorities are fine. Just make sure that it fits into the prime plan first and foremost, and then go to the Beyond Super Hard Stop priorities. All right. And communicate about everything else, guys. Are there any other questions about the Beyond Super Hard Stop?
The only question is, should I update the priority for self-driven for everyone on verification spreadsheet, for self-driven spreadsheet? On self-driven spreadsheet?
Yeah, the spreadsheet is still not verified and is not completed. So this is not done yet.
Okay.
So we could say that it's like maybe it's 33%.
Give me a minute to receive a call, officer.
That is bad. Our self-driven responsibilities are bad, not organized, clearly. Okay, so I think we're ready to go ahead and wrap up. Do we need to go through any more?
Yes, before wrapping up, you said about payroll. Which payroll? You say another payroll apart from the payroll of FQN payroll. Which payroll again do you want?
We need a schedule to deal with the owner's payroll first and foremost, because I'm still not really getting paid. And we need to prioritize our payroll, and then there's the sponsorship payroll. So all the sponsorship payrolls. So we have at least 3 sets of payroll. Did that answer your question?
No.
And then eventually we want to be doing real-time taxes as well. And real-time, when we're doing the payroll, do real-time finances and real-time taxes. And that is all part of our tax system. So our tax system includes real-time taxes, whereas our tax plan doesn't include real-time taxes.
Yeah.
All right. I think we are ready to move on to wrap up now.
Yeah.
Yes, we're ready to wrap up at least.
Are there any other next steps? Next steps? No. Okay. I think we already went through all the responsibilities and tasks. We'll evaluate in our checkouts. So our schedule, we're going to take like a half-hour break. Then we're going to do more taxes for Andromeda. And then take a break and then do some J support. So unless there are any other questions, let's go ahead and do a quick checkout. And we'll start reviewing. So how the session went, Any priorities?
Zero.
Yeah. Okay, so the session was good and effective, and we'll be checking after half an hour, 45 minutes. So we're sending it out for Texas.
Okay, is there anything in particular that you're going to focus on for the month? And you can also think about your goals for the month and a half.
Yeah, for this month we are going to have the planning for the system setup and the recruitment improvement with the stages, and going to be at the real-time finances and taxes. These are the goals primarily.
Cool. So, just make sure for planning recruitments, it's definitely scheduling. So this should be scheduling, okay? So the more time we spend together, the better. I mean, I'm fine doing the taxes, day in, day out. I mean, this is what I do every day anyways. So if you want to schedule ongoing for the whole month on this and work together more closely, next thing you know, we'll bring in tons of money, and then you can bring it, we'll all be at the owner's level, and we'll all be having our own money, right? It would be great. Real-time finances. This is primarily the email group, email Google group. So you can work on email Google groups, and we're probably going to need real-time finance and real-time taxes docs. Okay. So now we can start coordinating, and these will be async docs. So the way that we do real-time finances is through asynchronous communication, because that's the only way to do it in real time, is that everything's happening all the time. So it's not happening during real-time sessions. Real-time finances happens through asynchronous coordination. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Finances. All right, Lucy. Oh wait, you didn't give a number. Zee, did you have a number for the session?
Yeah, of course, it's 6.5.
Okay. Lucy, your turn.
Yeah, I'll give the session 6, and I'll be working on voting form, super team budget, payroll, taxes, day support, and any other coming sessions, and priority responsibilities that need to get done.
Cool. Awesome. All right. The only other thing I will say is that, with the three of us, I mean, basically for the next month, at least, if not 2 months, we're not going to see, I mean, we'll definitely see Albina, but she's going to be busy with her new baby. But I can guarantee you that if the three of us put in the time and effort, and put in like 20 hours, 30 hours or more per week, we can get everything done, and we can get everything done very quickly if we're focused, especially if we do the executive levels and we schedule a lot. We actually have a clear schedule of what we're trying to work on. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, you can. And then get everything back on track and everything. It just takes a lot of effort in scheduling and time to pull everything together. Also, everything that we've listed has output, right? So if you simply track your output, right, it doesn't matter if you work more than your scheduled or your budgeted 15 hours, we can pay you bonuses for doing all of the output, but you actually have to follow through and actually, attempt to do the work, right? So output on taxes would mean actually doing step 8 and following through with the taxes and getting them all completed and done. right? For the quarterly budget, right? Making sure that the quarterly budget is completely verified. Every single box is marked green, and we have it all verified and certified and approved, right? So it's not that difficult to get output. It just takes effort, right? So if you want to get paid more money, that's not a problem to put in more hours. You should be getting paid more to do more work. The only thing is that in our budget, we can't be spending that money unless there's output, right? We just need to get the work done. It's not that hard. If we focus on each system individually, we should be able, to get everything done that needs to get done before moving on to the next step. So then lastly, I would say that the session is like a 6. I give it a 6 or so. Was anyone taking any notes?
Yes. It has a long description. Please bear in the checkup.
Where is it? So when I ask you guys if you're taking notes, it should be a yes or no question. Were you guys taking notes or not?
Yes.
So where are the notes?
We are taking now checkout.
I know we're in checkout. So my question is, I just talked and I was thinking that people would be taking notes, and now I look and I don't see any notes. Where are the notes? Did you guys take notes or not on what I was saying?
That was a long description, and
we did not take your laptop when you talk. We thought maybe you are commenting. Yes.
So the way we take notes is that everything anyone's saying should be written down in the notes always, right? Otherwise, we're doing bad notes. So we'll just note down here on our policy tracking that we're just still very bad at doing notes, right? We're just not taking notes, not taking proper notes. Proper notes is tracking, is attempting to track every word. Is attempting to track every word. Okay?
Okay.
Also, if you're not taking notes, then just say you're not taking notes. Don't say you're not taking notes when you're obviously, don't say you're taking notes when you're obviously not doing notes, right? I wrote down everything that Lucy said. I wrote down everything that Zelie said. You guys did not write down everything that I said. Do you understand? Anyway, so it just makes me not really want to check out if no one's even taking notes on what I'm saying. But anyways, let's just go, and then we'll be back in like 45 minutes and we can work on taxes. So anything else? Are we done?
Okay.
You did not check out.
I actually did check out. You guys just didn't write it down. What do you want me to say? Lucy, what do you want me to say? Do you have a question?
Okay, I will write down that things by the link to YouTube. I will go back and I will write down the notes.
If you want to, that's fine. But Lucy, did you have a question? Do you want me to add anything?
So I was not able to do the real time, but I will do the notes later.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Lucy, do you have any questions or anything else you want me to add?
No, I was thinking that you are just commenting and now you need to check out. That is why I'm asking you did not check out.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I will do.
Okay, but I did check out. My question to you is if you want me to add something to my checkout, I can. Did you have something you want me to add?
No.
Okay, so then I think we're good. I'll be working my butt off on like a dozen different responsibilities as always. So I'm always working endlessly hard with way too much time. All right, so let's and getting underpaid if not getting paid at all. It's pretty dismal right now. So I'm trying my best. So let's move. Let's stop. I think we're done. I'm gonna do the value tracking real quick. Otherwise, I think we are done. It looks like we did. Did we do 3.5 hours or 2.5 hours?
2.5.
Then I was 325.
It says 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Is that correct? 3.5 hours?
It's not correct. I put the 3 and 25.
Well, we just round to 3.5 is fine. I mean, I guess we could do 13.4. Is that better?
Yeah. It's okay if you round it to over, so it's okay. Okay, guys, let's meet later. I'll do storytellers after a few minutes. Let's just make something.
Oh yeah, storytelling key. Yeah, we can do that some during our next buddy team as well. So we can add that to our list of buddy team priorities.
Okay, I'll do it. Let's just meet the something, and I will do after a few minutes. Bye for now. See you after 30 minutes.
Okay.